go!
Hey yo, what is good with you? It is your boy Travis Kinley coming back to you with another one. I think I am in Arkansas, but I'm really not sure. I just woke up, brushed my teeth, finished my pre-trip and all of that jazz, and it is a beautiful clear night. Right now I'm by the street light, but when I was in the back of the truck during the pre-trip, I looked up and it was like dark back there because I was in the shadow of the trailer. Man, it looked beautiful, beautiful clear night. Got a real quick video I want to shoot, and then we are getting to work because we do not have a lot of time to spare today on this load. Multi-stop load, so for you drivers out there, you know, you get the first stop measure, or second stop technically, but you get your first drop, you late at your first drop, you're late everywhere else, and then you're just screwed. So I don't want to do that. Anyways, I was talking to somebody yesterday, talking about the job or whatever. He's thinking about coming to Prime, or he was like trying to choose between some companies, right? And he was asking me how's Prime, etc., etc. And I was telling him about Prime, about, you know, the biggest thing that stands out to me is work culture. And then he asked me about I believe that was him. I think he asked me about like you know, company, or he asked me about a position that was offered to him. That's what happened. Position that was offered to him elsewhere, and I told him, well, that might be a good position. It just depends on where you want to be. Like, you have to think about your goal, where you want to be in 2 years, where you want to be in 5 years, and will that decision help you to get toward that goal? Like, I mean, it sounds good, but do I know if it'll be good for you? I don't know. And I started talking a little bit about, you know, what I'm doing, what I sought out to do, and what I'm doing now, and how everything's going. And eventually I said something to him of the nature of, at Prime, you get in what you put out. You know, whatever you put, or excuse me, whatever you put in is what you get out. You get out what you put in. Whatever you put in is what you get out here. And I talked a little bit about that, and then I realized while I was typing, I wasn't really talking, I realized while I was typing, like, man, you should do a video about this because you seem a little bit passionate about it, like you really believe that. And I do. At Prime, it really seems like whatever you put in is what you get out. So if you think about asking somebody like, how's Prime, consider, how am I? What do I want to put in? What goals am I trying to achieve? Because I just really feel like here, whatever you put in is what you get out, man. I gave him this example. I told him a goal that I had, what I wanted to achieve. I told him in training I had decided I was going to take a route in which I always had a second seat person in my truck. I was always running team. I was not dead set on lease when I came out of TNT. And I did know I wanted to train, but I wasn't dead set on lease yet when I came out of TNT. But I knew I always wanted a second person in the seat. I wanted to optimize my income as much as I possibly could. I came out here for a reason, and I wanted to get to that reason. I didn't want to go solo. I understand it's more comfortable and privacy and all that stuff. I spent a little bit of time solo, but I wanted to get to that reason. I told him I executed that goal. I told him where I was right now, and I told him you get out what you put in. I also told him there are people who share similar goals to me, but they're not willing to put in what I put in. And like I've talked to people, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how they want to play their cards. That's what I use the analogy of playing cards, right? You figure out what cards you want to put in your hand and how you want to play them. It's just how I played mine. I wanted to get there ASAP. I didn't want to tarry and take a while, and no, I wanted to get there ASAP. So I had to optimize the revenue. It's the only thing that made sense to me. If you're trying to get $1 million, optimize the revenue and you'll get there as soon as possible, and then you can get to some other goals. I didn't want to take that long. And there are people who told me, oh, I want the same thing. I want Z. I just don't want to do X, Y to get to Z. You know, I think I'm gonna do something else to get to Z instead. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But, you know, usually the reason is because, you know, I don't want to share space with somebody. I don't want to sacrifice, yada. You know, I want an animal on my truck instead. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But like I told him, you just got to figure out what am I willing to put in? What do I want to get out? You can't, I haven't seen anybody at Prime that got out with something that they did not put in for. You literally get out what you put in. So you got to figure out coming out here. How's Prime? Prime's work culture is great. The equipment's great. The terminals are awesome. Everything you see on the internet is true. But that doesn't mean that you're going to have the same experience I have, or you're going to have the same experience DL has. You're going to have the same experience other people have. It depends on what you're willing to put in. The common thing that goes around, two people can do the exact same thing but have two different experiences, and that's true also. However, you know, when things usually don't work out that way. Usually people do not do the exact same things, the exact same fleet manager, exact same loads. Things are different. What do you want to put in? Yeah, there's variables. Well, what if my truck turns out to be a lemon? What if this happens? What if that happens? Hey, I hear you. But what are you willing to put in those situations? That's the question. What are you willing to put in? You can only get out what you put in here. There are other places I've been, okay, that it's the good old boy system, or, you know, you don't have to put in to get out. You know what I'm saying? There are other places I've been, you don't have to put in to get out. You just got to know somebody. You just got to be related to somebody. You got to be somebody's buddy or something like that, okay? Been plenty of places like that. It's not like that at Prime. Prime's a little bit large for that, okay? Maybe you related to somebody, but I don't know. You still got to run this from these miles. You got to haul this freight. It's the only way it's showing up on the settlement. You get out what you put in here. So what are you willing to put in? That's the question. That's the question. Prime's great, but Prime can be great and you come and it can suck, because either you haven't calculated what you want to get out, or you've calculated what you want to get out, but you're not putting in order to get what you want to get out. See what I'm saying? You get out whatever you put in, man. You put 50 cents in the vending machine, you can't get the 75-cent honey bun, okay? It doesn't work that way, okay? It doesn't work that way. You want to go lease purchase, but you don't want to manage your money for the down payment. It doesn't work that way. You get out what you put in, man. What do you want to put in? That is really how it is from my experience. And for the most part, I've only been at Prime, but for the most part, that is my assessment of the trucking industry, is that you only get out what you put in around here. Like, people can't hold your hand around here. People can't, you know, somebody can buy you a truck, but can't nobody put a driver in it for you. Somebody can buy you a truck, but they can't drive it for you. You got to haul the freight. It's hard to have a silver spoon around here. Eventually, you got to put in the work, or what? Nothing's gonna happen for you. You get out what you put in. Prime's a great place to be, but you get out what you put in. That's the only thing you're gonna get. Whatever you put in. Think about coming to Prime, you think about going anywhere, work from the end to the beginning. Decide where you want to be, and then make decisions based on how do I get where I want to be. Get out what you put in. You already know what the motto is. Work hard, play hard, sleep hard. Find you somebody you love. Don't forget, it's not about what you believe. It is all about why you believe it. Live free.